Church musicians, this tutorial is for you. It is called Transition Tricks, and I hope to start a new series with this YouTube channel. And my goal is to help you as musicians figure out what is the easiest way to make transitions between songs and worship set that maybe aren't so easily tied together. Now, I'm not obviously talking about the content or the lyrics. I'm talking about the chord structures, maybe changing keys, changing meters, tempos. How do we do this to make it work? So there's lots of questions out there. I get many of them as a teacher of church musicians. And so I wanted to just give you a real life glimpse into how this could work and maybe add some more installments as we go along. So this first set I'm going to share with you is a worship set that I'm going to do this coming Sunday. So I'll go ahead and give you the list of songs. I'm going to start with Hands Toward Heaven, North Point Worship. We're going to follow that with Clean, Natalie Grant, and then an older song, Draw Me Close, and finish up with CeCe Winans, Believe For It. So that's the set. We're just doing 4 songs. And the way we run it, at our church, we'll have Hands Toward Heaven as our opening song. So we want to have a point of worship, kind of getting the congregation's mind in the right focus, thinking about God being the center of our worship. And so it's upbeat, it's lively. The lyrics are very encouraging about yours is the heart that is beating inside us, and to the King Almighty, to the one who saves, be glory and honor. And so we're just getting our minds and our hearts focused. After this opening song, we do have a hard break, and we have someone come forward and do maybe announcements, do prayer requests, take up the offering, that sort of thing. Usually they end with the prayer for offering, and then the worship set picks up as they collect offering, and we go forward from there. So we're going to go ahead on the second song with Clean, and it will slow the tempo down a bit, but it works well because we have the hard cut between the 2 songs. And so Clean is going to be in F sharp, and then we're going to move into Draw Me Close. So my vision for this is we've got to help the audience, help the congregation get to that point of repentance and cleansing ourselves of anxieties, of fears, of stress, of things that have overwhelmed us maybe during the week. And we see things as shattered, broken. Of course, Jesus sees the possibility that he can make us whole, and of course, cleansing us, and whatever is dirty inside, whatever has gotten a wash in the things of this world has been cleansed. So it's a beautiful song about the blood of Jesus washing us. And from there, we take it into Draw Me Close. You know, our God is holy, and so we want to be holy and bring that holiness into closeness with him. And so once he washes us, once he makes us clean, he will draw us close in his arms. And that is a wonderful place to be. So hopefully that'll be very worshipful. And as we come out of this, we want to leave with this hope, with this encouragement, you know, that once we're in God's presence and we really are listening to his heartbeat, that it begins to show us that what seems impossible, what seems unmovable, what mountains that are just in our way, that they really are movable with him. And the chorus says, move the immovable, break the unbreakable. God, we believe for it. So we come in unity with God and what he has in store for us as believers. So that's kind of the vision for the set. So I want to walk through the last 3 songs of this set and explain how this works, because I have some very disjunct keys. And how on earth do we make it work? Now I'm going to pause at this point because there's probably some of you that go, well, I've heard it said that you should just put your whole song set in one single key, or at the very most maybe have 2 keys for all the songs that are very closely related. So I have heard that comment and suggestion before. You may hear it at different music conferences, or maybe that's just the way you were trained at your church or in your district. And so those are very good comments, and I do not want to take anything away from that. There's so many applications and ways to make worship sets go forward, and depending on your church, the way your group works, those may be the best solutions. I'm not here to tear down anyone's solutions or thoughts. I just want to add maybe some new thoughts or give you a little help if you feel like you're stuck. So on my worship set here, we start with clean in the key of F sharp, the original key. And so I'm going to go to the end of the course as if we're finishing clean, and then show you how to transition from that to Draw Me Close. The original key of Draw Me Close was in B flat. The church I'm working with, they prefer it in A flat. It's not quite so high up there for the sopranos, so I'm going to respect that. So we're going to go from F sharp, and then A flat is going to be the second song. So take a listen, see how this works, and then we'll talk through a little bit, give you some ideas. Okay, so if you have this end of clean, so there's the end. I'm just going to stay on that F sharp chord. Draw me close to you. Okay, so I didn't have a hard pause anywhere. In my mind, I'm thinking the drums will fade out. So as we finish clean, I'm not looking that the drums will keep a steady beat. That really wouldn't work with the transition, but the keys will continue moving forward. So how did I do that? We're in the key of F sharp. I'm moving to the key of A flat. Sharps and flats, there doesn't seem to be anything in common there. So one of the tricks that I'll share with you is just rethinking the key of F sharp. So I'm going to make the F sharp key a flat name. So the other name for F sharp is G flat. If I think of that as G flat, then I realize, wait a minute, the key of A flat is only one step higher. So it just helps me to find those connection points. If I'm one step higher, then the trick that we can employ here is what we call the 4/5 modulation. What on earth is that? So if that's new to you, I'll show you at the keyboard what I'm talking about. So I'm ending here, G flat or F sharp, whatever you call it. Okay, the new key I'm going to is a whole step higher, A flat. So what we do is we count up this new scale, and we go to the fourth member, 1, 2, 3, 4. The fourth note here above A flat is D flat. So what we want to do is create the D flat chord. D flat chord. I'm going to choose to spell it as A flat, D flat, F. And then we want to add in the left hand, in the bass, the fifth note above A flat. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So this creates what we call a transition chord. So we're ending on the original key, F sharp. I'm going to add the 4/5 in the new key. So you have to make sure that it's in the new key, or it doesn't work. It has to be the key coming. So do that 4/5, usually about a measure, 2, 3, 4, and suddenly you're in A flat. You notice that position I chose for the right hand, the A flat, D flat, F. I did that so I could walk down the melody and draw me close. So that's another trick that we use as keyboard players, is that we set up the vocals. And I'm thinking of this for my set as a solo coming in and singing that first verse alone. It's very powerful. It really focuses the attention and makes it very, I think, special. So to do that, and we're changing keys, I want the singer to feel 100% confident where she needs to be. That there's no question, okay, this is my note. The other thing that you could do with this is, you notice that I'm leading not only the singer, but also the drummer. If you're thinking, I want to start with a steady beat, boom, right at the very beginning, then again, lining out that lead line, then the drummer knows where the beat is. And beat here. So if you want a straight beat, there's how you do it. If you want a free tempo, that still works if you're just trying to guide the singer. So a lot of our job as the lead keys is to set up not only the singers, but also a lot of the other band members as well. Okay, so that's how we get from clean to Draw Me Close. And then I was also going to mention on Draw Me Close, it's pretty common to take that last line of the chorus as you're finishing up the song and repeat. okay, what's the chord I need to make that line repeat? That's another question I get. Like, I don't know how to get there. The singers want to do it and I just kind of land. It never sounds very good. Those are the kind of questions I get. So here we go. If we're on Help Me Know You Are Near. Help me know you are near. You get the repeat sign. What do I do? You could just do a straight shot. You are near. But there's no intermediary chord. If you feel like there needs to be something, you can just use that D flat over E flat, that 4/5 chord. It works again, just like very easy transitions do. So, you are dear, help me know you are dear. It lands you right where you need to be. So that 4/5 can be used in many ways, so I hope you'll find that useful. All right, and then the last song I said was Believe For It. So this is where the true challenge comes. You're thinking, oh, I got all this, no problem. So here's the challenge that I had to work out. So we're in A flat, and I want to do Believe For It in the key of G, the original key there. So wait a minute, we're going from A flat down half a step. Okay, just some of you just already were gone. But if you'll hang in there, if you're feeling adventurous, I think there's a way we can actually do this. So if we're in A flat, we're finishing up where we just were. You are near. Okay, so here I go. Here's a transition. Works, doesn't it? All right, so let me share with you the trick. So we're in the key of A flat. I thought through the main chord. So if you're trying to make two keys that don't really match work, go through the primary chords. By that I mean the first chord, the fourth chord, and the fifth chord in that key. So I was thinking of the key of A flat where I was and trying to go to the new key of G. So what I discovered was if you go to the 5 chord in A flat, that's the E flat chord. So I stayed, here's my last chord for Draw Me Close, and then I take the left hand down half a step, which puts me right where I need to be for the new key, G. Right hand, you're still not anywhere near G, but I have one common tone right there, that G. So I ride that out for a minute. I'm not trying to keep a tempo here. And then I make a G suspended chord. G4, I'm just playing G and C. You can line it out an octave higher and resolve it. Now I'm in the key of G. Okay, the last step, the final part, is that on Believe For It, the verse, it begins with a verse. The verse is a C chord, but if you look carefully, it's actually a C2. Okay, what's a 2? Well, if you're on the chord of C, I'm going to play it the left hand just for a second. There's the C chord. The second note above C is D. C, D, E, G. Okay, the right hand, I was playing this G chord I showed you a moment ago. So if I look, there's the C chord. G is already part of the C chord. And the 2, the D, there it is, I already had that in my G chord. So I'm going to leave those 2 notes alone. And I'm just going to swing my thumb down to hit the E. So now I have the 3rd of the chord, the 5th of the chord, and that 2. That 2 they're asking for. Sorry about that. Okay, I'm going to put the name of the chord on the bottom, and suddenly I'm on C2. And then I can keep moving forward and going into that introduction, which is this basically the first verse. So that's how you can make it work without having a hard stop or having somebody to get up and talk for a minute while you're fumbling around in the background. Hey, I've been there. I know how that feels. So I hope that's been helpful to you, whether or not you want to use this worship set or maybe just borrow some of the ideas or get inspiration from them. If you did, feel free to give me a like, or you can leave me a comment in the sections below, and I'll be happy to read them and respond. Thanks so much, and I hope you have a wonderful worship this coming weekend.